A lot of us guys have not been given proper good life advice. The obvious reasons being the lack of a strong father figure in the household, whether he's a parent or not, and there's not much of good masculine guidance out there. And since we live in a predominantly feminized society, it's kind of hard to find that nowadays. Now, I'm still pretty young. I'm only 20, about to be 21 soon, and still learning. But here's the 18 life lessons I wish someone would have told me when I was younger, and I do believe it will save you years of your life, bro. So first starts with number 1, long-term commitment. So it's pretty obvious that you're only going to be a teenager for about 7 years. Some of you probably shorter. And if you really think about it, that's not that long. And when I say long-term commitment, I mean it in the lenses of pursuing the development in yourself and playing the long game instead of the short game. Because the two extremes you're either to see are people around your age going to parties, drinking, and wasting their teenage years chasing cheap dopamine because you're supposed to have fun when you're young. And bro, most people perceive that their definition of fun should be your definition of fun. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that's bullshit. And people like that tend to not take life seriously, especially if you consider yourself an ambitious person that wants to get more out of life. Then it's probably best for you to avoid chasing cheap fun. But then you got the other extreme end where people feel as though they have to have everything together by the time they're like 18, 19, like the young influencers living the ideal lifestyle that we all desire. So we feel as though we have to have it immediately, which a sense of urgency is good, but that's not a good mind frame to approach it because that's short-minded thinking, and lots of the time you won't make much progress that way. So it's best for you to take it one day at a time and not only adopt a new belief but new habits. And that leads me to the next step of adopting new habits. Now you see half of your peers addicted to social media and not giving their minds a rest from their phones and eating nasty shit foods that ruin your testosterone and hormones with all these ultra processed snacks, seed oils that make you infertile. Vid on that soon. They play video games, eat junk food, and scroll on social media, numbing their minds until it follows them into adulthood. And then they wonder where all that time went. Don't let that be you. Be different, which leads me into the next step of be okay with being different. But when you're different, that comes with being a bit of an outcast and not being able to relate to others. And bro, trust me, I know how lonely that could be. So I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor real quick. If you're on self-improvement right now, hit the subscribe button, because the more this channel grows, the more likely you are to find a young person your age or even mine trying to better their lives. And this could be a potential friend to you, so you're not alone. So do that real quick and subscribe. And not just that, I know that most of these things stem from fear of missing out, and FOMO will definitely come about too. So the next step requires you to be decisive. Make decisions based off of what you must do and not what you feel like doing at the moment. So right now you're at an age where no external figures can make choices for you, and you know what you must do to live the life that you want that's completely different from everybody else. Don't sit hours consuming shit you'll later on forget about, watching streamers and TikToks, and just ruthlessly put in the hard work to any endeavor you want to pursue and be okay with failing. So this leads me into the next step of being okay with failing. Every new business venture you start off, or any new thing that you start that could potentially change the direction of your life, won't take off immediately because it'll take days, months, and probably even years most of the time. Even with me with this channel, I don't expect this shit to blow up overnight. This is like a process because I'm hoping to help out maybe 1 or 2 people that need to hear this the most. So it's all about playing the long game. But when you take those L's as lessons and become better from them, at that point you basically decide that you're gonna win because you're gonna continue where most people would stop. And that also builds character into your 20s and so on and so forth. So when you're young, you have the utmost amount of energy and testosterone to go after your goals and stand out from a lot of guys around your age. Because bro, listen, most people your age don't work out and have a very frail and fragile frame. And so lifting weights, going on sprints, doing calisthenics, or doing some type of physical activity will help you greatly. And to be frank, you're gonna feel good overall when you look like a real life Baki character or some shit. And just as much as you're building a strong body, you'll also need to build a strong mind. So the next step requires you to read. Now I don't want to sound condescending when I say this, but a lot of people don't read. And to some degree, I kind of empathize with it because reading has a bad rep because schools required us to read dumb shit for a grade. But in this case, read books to develop your mind. From finance to psychology to body language to anything holistically really, and especially with women. Because the more you know, the less boring your life is, and you're able to be ahead of most oblivious people. You wanted to learn Riz, right? Reading helps with that. And there's 2 books I'm gonna mention that help me with game. And one of those books is called The Way of the Superior Man from David Data. And it goes in understanding the concepts of masculine and feminine energy and how these 2 energies are different. And then the second book is called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert A. Glover. And this book kind of goes over the nice guy syndrome that a lot of us have. But I'm gonna let you know that a lot of guys, and this might be you yourself too, a lot of guys and girls have a gross, like disgusting levels of a understanding how different we are inherently and the common problems of guys getting friend zoned and having problems with dating and etc. These books will go in depth about understanding women in a way that no other red pill guru can tell you. And getting knowledge from reading these books will help you navigate your potential dating life in a way where you lessen the chances of heartbreak and make you choose the girls that you want in the right way instead of chasing girls who aren't that interested in you. Because most guys have one-nightitis and have a lack of options, so they'll go after this one girl that shows them a tiny bit of attention and assume that she likes him just because she gave him her number or she responds, but that's not the case. She could just be bored and likes the idea that there's multiple people texting her because it gives her a sense of status and a dopamine hit, so you're just reduced to a notification on her phone. So learn female nature via these books, get some experience with talking to girls and stuff, because you can't just read passively without actually implementing it, right? So yeah, bro, read. Next up, be charismatic. So that's naturally gonna come from experience and being around people and just being a lively person that people like to be around. But I don't understand what's the deal with this generation about us romanticizing the idea of being antisocial or being depressed and seeing it as a cool thing. Like, I get it, when happened, we're all locked inside our houses and it changed our social skills forever, but damn, man, nobody's really thinking that much about you, like to the point to where you worry about what they might be thinking of you. Like, bro, just strike up a conversation, kind of like how an old person would with you in an elevator, and instead of waiting for someone to invite you to do something, become that person that invites others, either for events, conversations, or something that adds into your charisma. Just get out your comfort zone, which leads me to the next step out your comfort zone. Now, the comfort zone is a very scary, dangerous, dark, gritty place to be in, and that's why a lot of people don't grow or stay stagnant. So you must seek out new experiences and unknown territory that enforces growth in yourself. I don't mean like go off into the woods or some shit like some crackhead or some shit, you know what I'm saying? And keep pursuing the unknown until you're unrecognizable to your friends and peers. Next step, choose your friends wisely. Most of the friends that you have probably do some of the bad habits that I was talking about, like playing video games, maybe taking drugs, party, and just consume. If they are not willing to improve, they'll drag you down the moment you decide to change. If they can't keep up with your growth, oh f***ing well, because you're gonna attract better people that will improve the quality of your life and the life you desire. And this is cliche and corny, you heard this a million times, but you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Don't continue to be friends with them even though you don't like them, they don't like you, and you guys only share one common interest that doesn't really impact you in any capacity. You guys are not compatible, so now you gotta be okay with being alone. Now, as human beings, we crave human and social interactions, but from time to time you gotta give yourself a break, and honestly you need to get to know yourself a little more. Sit alone with your thoughts and observe yourself and try to get into the routine and habit of doing that, because to be honest, you learn more about yourself when you're alone than when you feel the need to be out there and about all the time. Now, next up, become autistically confident. Stop over analyzing your flaws and walk up straight with your head held up high and walk with confidence like you got somewhere important to go. Like, have your chest out, like do what I'm doing right now. Have your chest out and walk with purpose. Nothing signals a lack of confidence more than a person who just walks with their head down, all depressed, like looking like a dweeb. You don't want to be a dweeb, so don't do that. Walk with good posture and don't be like me, because at some point I had scoliosis. Next step, don't react, respond. You gotta know that not everything needs a reaction, and the more energy you give to that, the more likely you are to have anything in life phase you, and anger and any other normal emotion will be your first approach. So respond in a better manner. The next step helps with that, and that's effective communication. And bro, this is a good social skill technique. So for example, this will require you to say how you're feeling and what's on your mind to people without hiding your feelings, but just don't become overly emotional or cry like a little bitch when you're expressing yourself. Like, for example, if I feel uncomfortable about something or a situation, I address how it made me feel in the moment without cursing or being loud. And chances are, if the person you're effectively communicating to is receptive to it and does not take offense to what you're saying or what you feel, I guess, upset with or feel like you have to get off your chest, that's probably a good friend that you have right there, right? Or partner on your hands. But if they're not like that and try to point the finger or blame or disregard and validate your feelings when you let them know in a healthy manner, which is effective communication, let them go. The next lesson, don't be directionless. Now, purpose is a very complex topic. Well, actually not really that complex once you realize what it is, but I'm gonna let you know, as a teenager, you're not gonna know what your purpose is, at least immediately, and that's completely fine. Just find yourself in the chaos of experimentation and doing practical things that'll set yourself up. So like doing things like planning your days ahead, trying out new hobbies, and don't let your lack of direction be put in the hands of society and school. That's the mediocre path a lot of people rely on and have little to no control over. They just exist expecting the government or their boss to improve their life, and then as a result they just become another NPC with no thought or beliefs of their own. So bro, do something with purpose behind it and continue to learn through experiences. 17, adopt a belief that you can do it. Nobody's gonna save you, not your mom or parents, not your teachers, or the incompetent government. Nobody. Don't just accept things as how it is. You already have what it takes to win. The moment you decide that nothing can stop you and everything comes down to your choices, time will naturally do its part and give you what your thoughts and actions align with. You are greater than what you think. And it doesn't just take me or a genius to realize that, but you have to believe in yourself before anybody else can. This is all up to you. Attack and penetrate and impact this world to whatever capacity you believe you can. Last one, invest in yourself. So a common phrase I hear is time enjoyed is not time wasted. Now, some parts of that may hold true, but time invested into your future self is far more better because, like we discussed before, most people's definition of fun is in a constant pursuit of chasing cheap pleasures to numb themselves. Your definition of fun is in the practice in delayed gratification and doing things that will set you up for your 20s and later on in life. That's far more better and worth it than just wasting it away like everybody else. Invest in your education via books, courses, podcasts, the gym, experiences, go on an adventure with yourself, meet new people, kind of like how you would in an open world video game. Do that. You have 7 years, maybe less, depending on where you are in your teenage years, right? And of course, you will still want to have fun. Doing the good habits of what I'm talking about, the ones I mentioned, are fun. Once you get into the habit of it, you won't regret making a decision like that. And always remember the things that matter the most to you to set yourself apart from the rest. This is gold advice I wish I have been told earlier. So please use this to your advantage as you're on this journey. Keep improving, bro. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe since it does help the channel grow and you're more likely to find someone else on self-improvement around your age or my age. Do that for me, like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna see you guys. Peace.